Hi, I'm Aisha, and I'm a former host of Mocha Single Mothers by Choice, or SMCs. Like you, as an SMC, I decided to become a mother knowing I'd be the sole care provider and parent of my children, at least at the outset. The Mocha stood for Black, so I'm using the word Black, and I'll be discussing being a single mother by choice from a Black woman's lens. You'll connect with all the interesting and fun things about this non-traditional path, like discussing which sperm to use and some hard truths about fertility and the realities of dating as a single mother who doesn't have a co-parent to rely on occasionally, and what it's actually like to parent as an SMC. This is the Black Single Mothers by Choice podcast. In this episode, we are going to throw caution to the wind and we're going to plan an epic vacation for when the world for when the world opens back up. Not really, but we're going to reminisce about travel. And can I just say, I miss travel.
Me
I miss
too.
it. It was actually just 2 years into traveling with my eldest daughter when the pandemic hit. We'd taken a trip to Jamaica. We'd gone to Club Med in Florida. We'd done some short weekend trips. I had built up my confidence with traveling. With the new baby, she was just turning like 1.5. And so I felt confident enough to go ahead and plan a cruise vacation for the summer. We put down our down payment, and just as we were getting geared up to make the second big payment, the pandemic hit. And yeah, so I was just like, so I'd been looking forward to attempting that first trip and trying out some of the hacks that I discovered while traveling as a single woman. I am a big fan of travel, mainly because I think that it's a way to just unify people, places, humanity, and there are a lot of teachable moments if it's done right. And I always wanted to be the first one to teach my girls about how you interact with the travel community, with the people you meet in a respectful, dignified way. And one of the trips that I can't wait to take them on is Bali. I fell in love with the country, the peace. If peace was a place, a word, a visual, it would be running through the rice fields in Bali. So I can't wait to take the girls there. But my most memorable trip as an SMC was a trip that I took to Club Med in Sandpiper Bay in October 2018. My daughter was just on the tail end of potty training, so she was good to go. And she was just such a good little traveler at that time. And I think she was about 3.5, if I have the math correct. And actually, both girls went with me on that trip. I was pregnant,
Nice.
very early pregnant at the time. I had a positive home pregnancy test. I was just praying the whole time that this one stuck, but both girls were with me. And I think we just really enjoyed our time there. I traveled to meet up with some other SMCs, and it was just a really good time. They were relaxed and chilled. The kids got along. And I think what made that trip memorable was that it really cemented for me the type of vacation childcare that I needed in order for me to relax and enjoy my vacation. When my daughter was younger, I did take a trip to Jamaica and the kids had a nanny, but having to work that nanny relationship around the different breaks that they needed just did not work for me. It just felt really disjointed. And I don't know why I thought, I don't have a nanny. I've never wanted a nanny in my real life. Why would a nanny suddenly work in my vacation life, right? And Sandpiper Bay had a kids club. And it was just like dropping the kids off at daycare, dropped her off and almost forget about it. But the staff was really good and the kids had their own vacation. Like my daughter had a ball. She was doing adventures that I never thought, like she did the tightrope where you are
The zip
on that
line?
swing in the air
Oh.
where you got to let go and then catch and release. And so she did that. And where I would have been cringing as her mom, like, no, in that adventurous setting with full safety measures and other kids, she was just a little individual enjoying her vacation. And so at periods throughout the day, the moms we'd be socializing, we'd be drinking. And then we see this parade of little people walking past us, like on their own vacation. They were our
Yeah.
kids just doing their thing. And so for me, it let me know what type of vacation childcare I needed. So let's talk travel hacks. My hacks are I'm anal about packing, right? I like to use Ziploc bags. I use a lot of them. They come in various sizes, like the gallon, the quart size. It's also cathartic, therapeutic, right? So I'm packing the bags, I roll out the air, everything lays flat. With the big jumbo size Ziploc bags, I can separate out their clothes from mine. So they get their own big Ziploc bag that's got a handle. So I can pack it throughout the week. And I can pack liquids and creams, have their own little Ziploc. White clothes have their own little Ziploc. And then I actually pack Ziploc bags for the carry-on because one outfit and swimsuits per person. And so that goes into our carry-on. So that's one hack. I stock up on Ziploc bags. And then secondly, until the kids are like 6 or so, I always bring the stroller, right? Something that's foldable. Like before the pandemic hit, my kid's godmother was going to gift me this well-researched, I forget what brand stroller it was, but it was foldable, packable, compact, but it had like, good compartments and whatever. So bring the stroller until they're like 6 or so. It's multi-purpose. That's one way to go splurge. If you're going to splurge the extra little bit of money on a good travel stroller with wheels, do that. Look, I had been on enough planes where kids are an X factor. They spill, they throw up, they pee. They knock things over on you and on other people. So let's talk packing just a little bit. For me, I'm a roller, so I roll everything. Like I said, I do the Ziploc bags, a bag for me and each kid throughout the week, throw things into their bag. I like to use one suitcase because I like to be streamlined when I go through the airport. So I'll get a medium to large size suitcase with wheels on it and then put everything in the bag. So that's our travel bag that will get checked. And then we each have our own carry-on bags. The size will fit the person's. And then in our carry-on, we might have our light snacks, we might have our toys. Each kid will have their tablet, their activities. And then for me, I have the bag that will have our change of clothes. It will have anything that's too heavy, the extra snacks, the hand sanitizers and all those baby wipes and all that stuff. And then I carry a crossbody bag so that I have our travel documents accessible. So each of us, our carry-on is a backpack carry-on. So keep hands free to wrangle little kids who've gone wayward and things like that. I must have heard about it in the SMC community because once I started traveling with my daughter, I actually keep a copy of her birth certificate in my wallet. And I keep it separate from the copies of our passports that I keep just in case we lose our passports. All right. Tips for navigating long trips, international travel, and the trips upwards of 6, 7, 8 hours. So for me, I will say this is definitely a choose your hard approach for me. Whenever I do long trips or long travel, I plan on getting connecting flights, especially for land vacations. Yeah, I know some people will be like, there's a greater chance of your luggage getting lost. And I appreciate that, but this is my hard. What I learned on a few of my trips is that there are hotels and the suites that you can rent at the airport. So my plan is to get a connecting flight and then have those few hours in the airport where I book us a room where I can lay flat and get a good rest. My kids can stretch their legs and run around and build that into part of the vacation experience. Yep, the vacation will be extended probably by an extra day or two by having that longer connecting flight in the middle of our trips. But I've done that a few times and it is just heavenly how my patience and my perspective changes for the next leg of the trip if I get to lay flat and rest. I am going to inchworm my way into traveling with the kids. I think prior to the pandemic, some of the Florida SMCs, we were also planning to go back to Sandpiper Bay. And I think that I want to revisit that again because right now I know whatever vacation I take, I need to be able to relax and actually just get rest. This actually felt like a mental vacation for me. Thank you again for tuning in as we continue to discuss this often hilarious journey into being a Black SMC. Bye now. Well, Pod, thank you so much for taking the time to listen. If you like what you heard, please share this podcast with your girlfriends. And I'd love to hear your thoughts about the topics covered in this episode. So email me at mochasmc@gmail.com.
And if you found value in the topics covered, consider making a donation using the link in the show notes below. Till next time, pod. Bye now.